Hey, I'm glad you found your way to daily strength, but it's no coincidence. God's brought you here for something for your life. So let's talk. In fact, let's talk about hitting the bullseye. Our text today is Colossians 2:3, where we read that it is Christ in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Okay, here's some bad news. Left to ourselves, we're not very good shots when it comes to living. We are at the core sinful, which explains why we lead such ready, fire, aim kind of lives. We're a lot like the village idiot who prided himself for being a great shot. After he shot the arrow at the side of the barn, he would then paint a bullseye target around the arrow, and you guessed it, painted the arrow into the center of the bullseye. But the bullseye of life is not an "I want my life to be like this, thank you" barnside painting. The bullseye for life, as it's meant to be, is already painted by the good and righteous ways of God. And since we are not inherently righteous, but rather fallen and frail, missing the target, it's a regular event. In Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar, the character named Cassius gets it right when he explains, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings." Most of us excuse our miscues by assigning them to fate and random bumps from circumstances of life. It's not our fault, we say. We are victims. It's in our stars. But God's take on our lives is that the fault does lie in us. Not that we are underlings, as Cassius points out, but that we are born sinful, fallen, frail, and broken. By our very nature, we're just wrong-headed. I have come to realize that my first instincts in a given situation are probably wrong. Granted, they don't seem wrong. It seems right to get even. It seems right to stash away as much money as I can. It seems right to me to make sure that I'm recognized and affirmed for all that I do. It seems right to seek pleasure for myself, to live life to the full on my own terms, to do everything to dodge suffering and resent it when it invades my life. It seems right to be as strong as I can, because only the strong survive. And it always seems right to yell at the people who yell at me. But here's the warning. God says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to death. Proverbs 14:12. And we are reminded in Isaiah that God's ways are not our ways, and that his thoughts are not our thoughts. So let's fess up. You and I need help. Because we are bent in the wrong direction, we are in desperate need of God's wisdom to live right-headedly. And where is that wisdom found? It's found in Jesus. Paul makes this clear in Colossians 2:3. When he writes that he desires that our hearts be encouraged, so that we may have the full riches of complete understanding, in order that we may know the mystery of God, namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. It's simple. It's just that Jesus knows the way. He has the wisdom to see life as it should be lived. But beware, his wisdom will not seem right to you. He says to turn the other cheek, to die so that we can live, to give so that you might gain, to forgive the same offense 490 times, to love your enemy, and to find meaning and productivity in suffering. Sound upside down to you? Sure it does, but it sounds that way not because Jesus is upside down, but because we are. The bullseye of life is Jesus. Seek his wisdom and turn your ready, fire, aim life into blue ribbon target shooting.